as Jimmy had to kind of lock it up going into the corner.
That's one of the frustrating things about this joint right here. You can have a fast car and you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I think Kyle Busch in that 18 had been laying back there feeling like that he was quicker than those two drivers. Took advantage of it there on Jimmy Johnson a second ago.
Well, it looked from the onboard as if Jimmy might have got into the back of Brad getting into the corner, and that opened the door for the 18.
I don't know if he did or not, but I know he'd like to.
Johnson coming back on Kyle Busch.
It's just there's so much more speed in that high line. You get off the corner there, you see like the 18 car does with a little more straightaway speed. It's just almost impossible to make a pass.
Let's check back up front where Denny Hamlin, driving a Toyota for Coach Joe Gibbs, has a 1-second lead on Kevin Harvick.
I think these guys right here, if I know Denny Hamlin pretty well, he's looking in his mirror. He's trying to maintain that gap. That's all he's trying to do, mind the gap.
Let's check in the leaders pit, Matt.
And Mike, Darian Grubb just told him about 5 laps ago, continue to save me about 1 second off the throttle per straightaway. Gentle on, gentle off, just keep saving me fuel. Same thing for Greg Biffle, back and forth. They're telling him, back off early, save us fuel.
And when you've got a second lead, Mike, I think it's a little easier to do that.
Carl Edwards, Regan Smith, 10th and 11th, with Jeff Gordon in 12th.
We saw Denny Hamlin there, guys, and Denny is really aggressive here in Phoenix. But remember back to Daytona, he was the only one going on the outside, making moves, pushing other cars. Really aggressive from the green flag at Daytona. It continues here at Phoenix. He feels like this race 2 years ago could have cost him a championship. He wants to redeem himself today. Darrell, his attitude, we golfed together, and he can't beat me at golf. But, man, he doesn't think anybody can beat him on the racetrack.
No, he and his new crew chief, Darian Grubb, I like those personalities. They match up. Darian's a smart guy, and Denny will listen to him, and they're getting some really good results.
How about Regan Smith in the 78, upper right of your screen? Trying to battle Jeff Gordon for 11th place. He led a few laps, ran up the top 5 early. And your pole sitter Mark Martin is part of that battle.
Yeah, Regan Smith in the 78, he's been slipping back a little bit over the last few laps. It wasn't but about 10 laps ago he was running up at about the 8th position.
But I mentioned this earlier, and I want to bring it up again. The D-cell fuel cutoff, that's something that's in the mapping. Uh-oh, what happened to the 31?
He pulled down below the yellow line.
He's got a problem.
And is off the pace. Jeff Burton off pace. Is he going to try to run it out or head to pit road? He's staying on the racetrack.
Sounds like fuel pressure, volts or anything, right, Jeff? No, we're all good there.
He was in 8th place.
All right, I think back to Jamie McMurray and the one that had that engine issue a number of laps ago. The engines for Jeff Burton, Jamie McMurray, they come from the same engine company, Earnhardt Childress Racing engines. And it almost sounds like the same symptoms. We're not seeing the smoke out of Burton's car, though.
All right, we'll stay side by side with 25 laps to go, and Denny Hamlin nursing a 0.7 of a second lead over Kevin Harvick.
Last season was great, but I want more.
More! More, Carl! More! More, Edwards! More! Is someone on me? More! More!
Carl Edwards is fueling another run for the championship with more protein-packed Subway subs and delicious breakfast sandwiches.
Subway, official training restaurant of Carl Edwards and athletes everywhere.
And Jay Glazer.
Agents, I'd like you to meet Casey Kane.
Hey, nice fire suits.
Custom tailored.
Just like the personalized coverage you can get by working with a farmer's agent. Oh, no. No, no.
Oh, fire suit. Oh, hey, Kate. Are you done?
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Too much information. There's no such thing in NASCAR. With the Nascar SprintCup mobile app, you get live in-car audio, real-time stats, even driver bios. And with Sprint's unlimited data, you can find out everything about me. Like my secret obsession with karaoke.
go again on my own. Going down the
There's no such thing as TMI when you have NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile and truly unlimited data, only from Sprint.
Kevin Harvick has led the most laps here in Phoenix, but Denny Hamlin leads right now with just 21 to go. Remember Harvick's nickname, the closer. We've had a record, a Phoenix record, 15 different leaders in this race. And the irony, when Tony Stewart, the Sprint Cup champion, had problems, his championship crew chief, Darian Grubb, who was there before, helped Denny Hamlin take the lead. Michael Waltrip, he has that now at a track that, as Darrell Waltrip told us on the pre-race show, is a gambling track.
And the cars that are up front, Chris, they did just that. They gambled on that last caution. They didn't come to pit road, even though they knew they didn't have enough gas. They counted on some additional caution laps so that they could make it to the finish. A gamble by Denny Hamlin. Will it pay off, DW?
Mike, let me ask you something, Michael. Do you see any fire coming out the tailpipes today?
None at all.
And you know why? Because all you got to do to save fuel with this electronic fuel injection is get your foot off the gas, and it'll automatically cut the fuel to the engine off. So I went through a learning process today, and they're figuring that out right here this afternoon. But that's why you don't see all the flames out the tailpipe. We're not burning excessive fuel.
And Marcus Ambrose is slow in the back straightaway. His great third place run is going to come undone.
Well, it's a hot afternoon here in the desert, and if you're going to have problems, you're going to have them late here in the race.
Jeff Burton has taken his car to pit road.
Engine, I hear it go by, and it just heard it. You can see it.
18 laps from the finish line. Smoke billows. Yeah, we're engine number 9.
We're seeing the same.
out there.
I don't think so, buddy.
Now, we were seeing the same thing there that we saw on McMurray's engine in the 1, smoke coming out the right side exhaust pipes.
Saw the 4th place battle ongoing. Jimmy Johnson gets past Brad Keselowski for 4th.
He finally got by him that time. He slid Brad slid up the hill high enough that Jimmy Johnson, 48, was able to get by.
Bad news for Johnson. With 17 laps to go, he is still 9 seconds behind the leader. Ambrose has come to pit road. That's a tough break. Hamlin's lead shrinking slightly from 7 to 6/10 of a second. Kevin Harvick is coming.
Yeah, Harvick ran a 10th quicker that time, Darrell.
Yeah, I think I've really watched Harvick, and I'm not so sure he's not playing possum right now. I'm not so sure he's not going to wait till about 8-10 laps to go and really put the pressure on Denny Hamlin.
We've talked for 2 weeks about these new driver crew chief pairings and the need to build trust and build confidence. That won't be a problem for Harvick because Shane Wilson was Harvick's crew chief when he won the Nationwide Championship in 2006. So they have a lot of history together, including 13 checkered flags. There's your race leader, Denny Hamlin, and his new crew chief, Darian Grubb. Matt?
Mike, Denny told me that this really would be the start of the season, just trying to learn the chemistry and the nuances between himself and Darian Grubb. He also said coming into Phoenix, it's like a huge load off his shoulders. Typically, he'll come into Phoenix after a rough Daytona, but a top 5 there. He sits solidly in the points. They don't have to dig themselves out of a huge hole. It could be a big day if they could pull off a win here at PIR.
We're watching Denny Hamlin on the left of your screen with Kevin Harvick closing. Always think about Dale Earnhardt. He was the intimidator, and he loved to intimidate. What do we call the 29 guy?
The closer.
So, and some guys just like to live up to their reputation. And right now, I'm not so sure that our friend there, Mr. Harvick's not trying to live up to his reputation.
The gap, though, is growing slightly. It was 6/10. Now it's 9/10 of a second. Marcus Ambrose takes his car to the garage, joining Jeff Burton with late race engine trouble. 13 laps to go.
And Mike, with now 12 to go, Denny Hamlin has a decent, clean racetrack in front of him. There's a lot of drivers up there, but I don't think it's drivers that'll push the envelope because they are much more than them on the lead lap or more than 1 lap down.
Greg Biffle's Ford is now the 3rd place car, 6 seconds back. Jimmy Johnson 9 seconds in arrears. You will see the gap at the top of your screen, and you see it growing just slightly between 7 and 9/10 of a second. Hamlin to Harvick.
And again, I mean, I know that Harvick's trying to close. That's his nickname. But also that guy in that 11 car, I'm not so sure he's not playing a little